Hi everybody, this is Dr. Tafel Chandio from University of Simla Campus Pune. This class is being recorded for the students of BS English Part 1 who have taken English Literature as their major. In today's class, we are going to talk about the treatment of nature in poetry. First of all, here's the outline of this lecture. The first thing is that what is a nature? We need to understand what nature is. Why do poets use it in a poetry? That is the second point. And how do they use? And what are the impacts of such use in poetry when they use this type? That what is the ultimate impact what they acquire by using in their work? So, in today's class, we would try to understand what nature is first of all, and why do poets use this nature in their poetry? What is the reason and what impact they try to get? You know that poetry basically is a rhythmic, imaginative, creative pursuit. It has two objectives: to delight and to teach. As the job of literature is that to teach and delight, teach in a sense that literature basically is a creative pursuit to to choose, to inspire the greatest ideals in human life and to explore the viable possibilities and to criticize or condemn what is the bad in the society and to appreciate and condone what is a good already prevailing. So literature in that sense is a representative of human life. It talks about the problem and it suggests the solutions and it brings us uh, pleasure or delight when we read that literature. At the same time, it also presents certain models which could help us to live a meaningful life. And it inspires greatest ideals, and in many times it becomes a kind of a torch bearer. In my previous class I already discussed that literature is different from the other fields in a sense that somehow what life is the job of journalism, but the journalism may compromise in a certain situation where the literature can become vocal. What life should be, that is the questions that's very close to the interpretations of a philosophical pursuit. But again, the literature enters to discuss this question as well. And what life was, that is the question that is primarily taken or discussed by historian, or that is the domain of historian. But again, literature comes here to tell us that what life was, in a sense that somehow the pen of historian may compromise because history one way or other way is under certain pressure, or there is certain cohesion or duress. Because of that cohesion and duress, the historian may not be able to write history objectively, and sometimes even historian, they are paid to write some manipulated aspect and form of history. So in this way, literature stands unique as compared to these other disciplines. And when they come to we come to poetry. In a poetic composition, it is, you know, that we use poetry is a different from the prose in a reason that poetry, in a poetry we use rhythm what is controlled with the help of a meter. Meter basically is the ups and down of a sound. We produce a variation of a sound to produce music in composition. So poetry carries rhythm. It includes rhyme. Rhyme is words having same sounds like a book and a took and a sun and a run. This is rhyme. And then again, poetry. In a poetry, we use a figure of speech. Different figurative figures of speech or figurative language to give it a different layer of meanings. Then there's a metaphor, there's a simile, there's a personification, there's a metonymy, there's oxymoron, there's irony, and even there's a metonymy. And then the poet use sometimes they use Homeric simile, and they use hyperbole. So these different type of a figure of speech, they have speeches, they are used to give different layer to meaning, and this also produce a kind of a greater impact in the mind of the reader or the listener as well. But in order to give deep meaning and associate critical ideas, poet takes concepts or derives ideas from nature, and they add something critical and something unique to their poetical composition. So, in today's class, first of all, we would understand what nature is and how it is being used in poetical composition or in a poetry. Now, see, what is a nature? When you look at your surrounding, nature surrounding us in the form of this sky, that is the nature, stars are nature, clouds is nature, mountains, flowers, birds, animals, trees, plants, insects, seasons, rain, coolness, heat, warm, cool, fire, storm, earthquake, diseases, even this ongoing pandemic that is. So these type of things, they are just a part of nature. Everything that is present in our surrounding. May they be rivers, there may be sea. Sea, even we can include this as well. You can include river, you can include sea, okay. We can also add river, sea, river, seas, oceans. They are also the integral part of this nature. So when we just talk about this component, so they are integral part of nature. Now look at this, these things. How are they being used in this poetical composition, and what impact they give to us? That's very interesting. Just look at this picture. These are two things. On the one hand, you find a growing plant. What do you get when you look at this picture of this growing plant here? This growing plant basically stands for what? This is a hope. Something is that stands for inspiration, that something is going to take place. This is inspiration, this is growth, and this growth is very crucial to human life, and so is a continuity of prevalence. See, on the other side, you find a human life, and see the child is the beginning of human life, so is the plant, and there is a symbolical correlation, connectivity between two objects. And whenever the poet wants to inspire this correlation between a life and a nature, or he wants to convey some hidden ideas, that time he takes the concept from nature or images from the nature, and he puts in his political composition in order to give it deeper meaning on the one hand, but at the same time, when we include nature, because the impact of nature is that much unique and that much deep in a human life because of our daily basis communion. We all people are in a communion with nature on the daily basis. You come across sea, you come across ocean, you come across birds, you come across clouds. You come across sky, you come across birds, you come across flower. So on the daily basis we have this union, we have this communion, we have this interaction, and this thing is has left a permanent prints on our human conscience, and that remains everlasting in a human mind. Therefore, this thing is a very relevant and very much creative. Look at that this picture. It is not only beauty, but it also gives you happiness. When you look at this image, okay, of a human and a birds, and what idea comes to your mind? That comes to that is a happiness, that is something uh, satisfaction. And that is really, again, we go to nature, and nature has wonderful ideas to share us with the help of happiness. And that also is the part of beauty as well. Look at that. Nature is full of beauty. These natural objects, may they be flower, may they be child. Now see, this blooming flower has a very wonderful comparative relationship or parallelism with this growing child. And when you look into the eyes of this growing child, you what you get, that is a sort of a hope and imagination and a beauty. And the same thing is available in this with this budding flowers. Not only this, but again, look at the concept of love. That is again very much unique to nature. When you look at these objects of nature, these birds, these animals, they live in a gregarious situation. They live together. They impart the concept of a love to we people. And again, when you want to, when a writer, when a poet wants to convey the concept, the image related to this love and the beauty, that time he goes to nature, derives concept from nature, and puts into his like, a poetical composition in order to give it deeper meaning and associate happiness, emotions, because these things they appeal to the emotions. So nature provides us a source to communicate ideas. Nature provides us material to derive new concepts. Okay, but at the same time, nature also comes to inspire us and to stand as a parallel to human life. And when something which are very difficult and critical to say in a plain words, then again we go into the nature. For example, when a poet tries to show the cruelty or brutality of a human society, and it is a difficult to show the same brutality and cruelty committed on the part of a human. So instead of human, he goes to nature and he brings the image of these praying birds, like hawk, or like eagle, and like tiger, like lion, like wolf. So these are the birds or animals. They prey other animal, they commit murder, or they just kill other animals. So in order to show the brutality, again we derive the image from this nature, and they bear a parallelism with this, and they have a very much wonderful bearing on this thing. So in this sense, look at this. That is also the image we take from kindness. Kindness is also very close to nature. This kindness is present in our life as well. Look at that, how mother is going to take care of its children, and same kindness is also the component of our society, of our life, where we want to discuss and dissect in a political composition. So now look at that. What is poetry used for? Okay, this is emotional response. Okay, you know that whenever a writer tries to convey his ideas, that he is taken away by these emotional response. You know that when these writers are poets, they are in the process of a poetical composition. It comes like a torrent, it comes like a storm. परवीन ठाकर ने बड़ी खूबसूरत बात की थी कि जब एहसासात और कैफियत जो है एक तूफान की शक्ल अख्तियार करके इंसान की जिस्म से बाहर निकलती हैं, तो वो फिर शायरी बन जाती है. The mean is that particular time when a poet is going through the process of this creative process of composition of a poetry, that time ideas and emotions, they come like a torrent, they come like a stormy wind, and then they are carried away. And sometimes this is really important to share with that, in that critical period of a creativity, even your language, the ordinary language, the common language, it becomes inadequate to keep pace with the flow of that emotions and ideas. उसमें एक ऐसी कैफियत होती है आइडियाज की कि उसमें शायर के जो ख्यालात की रवानी होती है, उसमें जो अल्फाज जो हैं, आम जो ज़िबान है, वो उसके साथ जो है ना वो पैरेलल नहीं रुक सकती या उसी के साथ नहीं चल सकती, और उसी में जो नेचर है, दैट becomes his easy way, अपने महबूब की खूबसूरती को बयान करने के लिए उसको कोई चीज चाहिए थी. How could he express that how much his beloved is beautiful? So in order to express that depth of this beauty, he goes to the moon, he goes to the flowers, and he immediately brings these concepts from nature and expresses with that thing. Okay, so nature's emotional response, and this also gives us its vastness. Look at that. When you look at the space, you look at the sky, look at the heaven, and then you find that it is a quite vast. Okay, and this vastness again bears a great similitude in a human existence, in a human life. Sometimes the things become so vast and so broad in your vision, and in order to achieve that thing, poet goes there and shows the vastness of that nature, and as a parallel. This also used for metaphorical teachment. Okay? Metaphor or similes are these tools what the poet use as they take ideas and concepts. They are pure metaphor or metaphorical, and they are taken from metaphorical structures. They are taken from metaphorical structures, and they give us impact. They give us a metaphorical position there, or metaphorical concepts, what is a simile or metaphor. So basically, when you will analyze poetry, all the greater poets, they have taken many metaphors or similes from the nature in order to convey their ideas and their concepts. There's a difference between sign and metaphors and symbols. Look at that, something which stands as a sign, what we put particular marks, they are, but something they have become a symbol in a poetry, in a literature, for example, and these symbols vary from nation to nation and culture to culture. Now look at that. Owl is maybe considered something bad in our culture, but this is good in English culture. It is taken positively, and suppose rain is always, whenever it rains here in our context, it is quite positive. When it starts raining, rain basically is a positive symbol in our political concepts. But when you will go to Europe, especially novels of Hemingway, whenever any problem or whenever any crisis is about to reach, it starts raining in the novels of Ernest Hemingway. So moon is a symbol of beauty, flower, or rose is a symbol of softness and color and beauty, etc. So they, and sometimes they stand bare as a symbol. As I showed, I mentioned that when a writer wants to give you to bring the idea of a brutality into the mind of a reader, he takes the concepts of a hawk and the eagle and tiger and the lion, and he just puts that in his poetry to bear a symbol. Okay, so this is symbolical presentation that is used, and their nature is not only, you know that nature is has both aspects. Nature is a benign, yes, and nature is a malign as well. Okay, when we say benign, nature is a kind to you. Yes, it's like a mother. It nourishes you, and it provides you every means to survive. So nature has two things in your life. Nature is a benign, and it brings food, and it brings everything that makes your life comfortable, and that is a source of our survival. That is the basic source of our existence. In that sense, nature has a constructive part when it comes to for the betterment of humanity or this universe. But at the same time, nature is a full of there's a very famous quotation that it is a red in truth and claws. So when we say that nature is a red in truth and claws, we mean that this is again that is the aspects of nature that it has in its breathe the same aspects of destruction. It is not only it doesn't only have a constructive phase, it has both destructive as well. Look at the storm. Storms come and kill millions of people. Earthquake comes and kills millions of people. Even today, in these days, we are suffering through this pandemic of corona and this COVID-19 that has become a kind of a source of a cause of devastation at a global level. So nature again, so much so innocent people are being killed. They are losing their life. So again, that is a natural phenomenon. This the presence of the pandemic is also a natural process and a natural phenomenon, and that is also the part of a nature. So nature is not only benign as a mother, as a nurturer, but nature is also malign, also destructive. And these both things again teach in our life that life is not only the part of a construction, but that destruction is also the part of that thing. What when Palijo wrote, "Jahan ke liye mubarak ho asi kainda pyar chu," then it means what he went to say, okay, that is the rule of what is evolution. When we talk about evolution, then evolution is the process when something gets decay, the death, the decline, and that downfall of one thing that gives birth to another new process, and then again a new system, a new phenomena that takes place in the society or in this universe. So this is a irtaka. This is a continuity. This is evolution. It moves on and with that thing. So nature has also this bearing of evolution. And the other part, when you talk about that, nature has inspiration. That's a source of inspiration. It inspires you. It is a guidance. It guides you in a many sense because nature is the full of this these revolution. What happens when you look at these changing seasons? They teach us. When there comes autumn, yes, that is a sign of a decadence. That's a sign of a decline. That is signs of downfall. But at the same time, the same autumn just brings seeds in to us, and these seeds are again germinated in the forthcoming springs, and this is how the death is overcome by life, and the cycle and circle goes on and on. So these changing seasons, natures, they are present in the nature, but they just give us a very clear message in our life that when Shelley is going to write the poem "Ode to the West Wind," that is again he's going to call upon that west wind, that it comes and it brings a new thing in life. This germinates new ideas, and it just wipes out all the things which are rotten in the time and the space, and which have become obsolete, which have become useless, which has become ineffective, and they have lost their role. And he calls upon the west wind to sweep them away, and to bring the new thing, bring the to germinate the new seeds, to germinate the new ideas. And this is how this nature changes. So these seasons and this wind, this rain, they all are a kind of a source of information and also inspiration, and they guide us, and they also provide us how to resist. But not only that, but nature is also full of adaptability. You need that we need to adapt it. And adaptability is a very beautiful part of a human existence. In a sense, when we talk about adaptability, we mean that what? Okay, even today, we are going through this COVID-19 situations. We need to adapt to these crises. And how could you better be able to adapt these crises? The only way you have is this, that you have to take good care of yours and your surrounding, and with you have to change your living style. And with the passage of time, we will come across a new sort of a things. And those people who don't adapt to these changes, they don't survive. So nature has the great strength to adapt and to change, and that also provides us, it teaches us. And this is not only the present in our literature, but everywhere in literature, much has been taken from nature, from this nature, and in order to give it material beauty, enjoyment. And it not only gives us enjoyment, beauty, and a charm, but it has a learning and learning and messages and symbols and metaphors and similes, and that parallelism, correlations. And these are the basic things where writer take it important, and they try to put or contribute, take the part from nature and incorporate in their poetry. Now, it is also a source of communication. This is a medium. Flowers, moon, okay, they provide us a kind of a medium. So nature is also used as source of communication to communicate ideas to a great deal of people. The reason is that these natural ideas are very common. Everybody understands this. So this makes the poetical composition understandable to everybody. And सितारों से आगे जहां और भी है. Now see, when this Iqbal writes this line, it means that he wants to say that what is the, now see, here he is just going to talk about these the vastness and the height of his thoughts. But he said that this is not the end. सितारों से आगे जहां और भी. It means that we have, there are the worlds, the universe is beyond these stars, and that shows the vision of that poet, and that shows the inspiration of Iqbal, what he wants to convey to his people, that this is not your level. You can go beyond this thing. As Latif has said, "Jit na pakhi per, tit timke baidi," means there's a place where even birds have not been found. Jitnapaki pair means it is a place where even birds have not been found. There they have set the fire. So Biobari Doker, Kauri ki Khere. These are the situations. Now see how he beautifully brings concepts from nature, that is a place, the most isolated place, aloof place, and the place, unknown place, where even birds don't dare to go. But these are the people, these are the entrepreneurs, these are the people, these are the means explorer, yogis, and these swamis are these lovers, these people who have this great inspiration and great ideals to find great thing for this humanity. Pyo Barindo Care Khavade ki Khirre. These are the people who have reached to that place where even birds don't dare to reach. So that is where they become a kind of a sign, and they are also used as a symbol, but they also is a source of communication in in a poetry. And then it nurses us like a mother. Yes, of course. When you go to the greatest poet, all poets have used nature, but Shakespeare, that William Wordsworth is considered to be the poet of nature. He's a pantheist. Pantheists are the poets who take nature as a mother, nature as a god, and they take everything as a god. Everything in their surrounding is a god, is a universal truth and ultimate truth. And William Wordsworth is considered to be the nature of a poet. And in his poetry, he says that he takes Mother Nature has taught him in a different ways and in different levels. He says that when he was a child, that time nature taught him with pleasure. He was a child. He didn't understand anything. But when he saw clouds, when he saw flowers, when he saw birds, it gave him immense pleasure. Then at the next layer, when he became young, and again nature was giving him pleasure. When he was riding on a horse, when he was swimming across the water, that time again nature was giving him pleasure. This pleasure was understandable than a pleasure of a child. Then he said that one day he went to nest the birds. So he was trying to steal eggs of a bird from the nest, and he felt that something, some hidden force, or he heard some strange cries and sounds. He came down the mountain without picking the eggs from the nest, and when he was walking home, he felt that somebody was chasing him with the heavy steps, and he reached home and he felt scared and he was feeling temperature, and then he concluded that basically it was the nature, and the mother nature was teaching him through fear because he was going to indulge in evil or bad actions. Then he comes the fourth layer when the nature and he gets immersed. What is also a साजन हम तुम एक हुए कहन सुनन में दो मन को मन से तोलिए तो मन रहन को. That is a kind of a stage in pantheism also, that is very much prevalent in Wahdat al-Wujud, in our poetry, when they become one. हम तुम एक हुए कहन सुनन में दो. Same concept is a latif. पढ़ा सोई सद वरवाई जीजे नहीं. Whatever the echo you are listening, that is the same what you have called. Hua agai gad udan mein batya means when you call and you just listen to the echo, the reverberation of that sound, it is not different. This reverberation or this echo is the same what was your call, but only they look, they feel two different things, but basically they are the same. So that is the beauty of this means nature brings this type of vastness and that type of situations where the poet they can just add these things to their meaning and to their message and to that thing. So it inspires us with the new ideas, and then it also alarms us, as Williamers was, you saw that it was alarming, and it was a fear. Nature's, the concepts of natures also teach us something new in these different forms. Okay, now look at that. They use it to convey life and humanity, and to find a connection between nature and humanity or difference between them. Sometimes the nature bears a kind of a parallel. Sometimes it becomes against. Okay, in a both sense, it presents a certain models, and these models they help us to give us a new thing in our life. And this could also be okay. Nature can be seen as a reflection of human experience. What experience we have done in our life. Okay, at the greatest level and in the depth level, with the great magnitude and vastness, do you find the same experience in your surrounding, in your nature? And they teach us where to stay and where to not. जब बाहर आती है तो जिंदगी में एक उम्मीद होती है, फिर वही जिंदगी खिजा का सामना करती है. और यकीन माने इस जमाने में कोविड-19 में हमारी जिंदगी पे एक खिजा का जमाना आया हुआ है, और हमें उम्मीद है कि ये जो काली रात है ये गुजर जाएगी. और हम हमेशा हर बुरे वक्त को, बुरे दौर को हम किसके साथ कंपेयर करते कि ये काली रात भी गुजर जाएगी. Why do we call this black dark night? Because again this dark night gives us concepts that something is present here, but with the passage of time this evil would pass over, and we will come across something new phenomena, and we will come across something new in new aspects of human life. So same was the way they, okay, जब इकबाल ने वो कहा था कि उस्मानियों पे कोहे गम टूटा तो क्या गम है. अगर दिस नॉट इज समथिंग कॉमन, अगर उस्मानियों के ऊपर पहाड़ का गम टूटे, सो व्हाट, दैट्स नॉट समथिंग न्यू. उस्मानियों पे कोहे गम टूटा ना, व्हाई ही इज जस्ट ब्रिंगिंग दिस कांसेप्ट्स ऑफ नेचर. पहाड़ को यहाँ पे क्यों ला रहा है? इन ऑर्डर टू शो the happiness, to show the magnitude of the burden or the crisis कि पहाड़ भी गिरा है. उस्मानियों पे कोहे गम टूटा, अगर गम का पहाड़, so what, तो क्या है? If they are encountering with this the calamity, the happiness of a problem, so what? कत्ले सदे हजार अंजम से होती है सैर पैदा. When thousands or millions of stars are killed, we witness one single dawn. एक सुबह के लिए, for one beautiful dawn, for one beautiful morning. millions and billions of stars, they are being killed, they are killed in order to bring the dawn to. So that is the beauty. And now we see now this thing, how Iqbal is going to correlate the calamities and the challenges and the solutions. कोई मसला नहीं है। अगर एक सूरज के लिए, एक एक खूबसूरत सुबह के लिए हजार हाथ सितारों को कुर्बान होना पड़ता है, तो इकबाल कहता है कोई मसला नहीं, कत्ले हजार सदे हजार अंजम से होती है सैर पैदा, हजारों साल नरगिस अपनी बहनोरी पे रोती है. These are the process. Nature bears these wonderful examples. You don't find genius people in every corner of this, okay? You don't find wonderful minds in every one or other day. You don't find wonderful leaders in every another nation. You don't find wonderful revelations in every moment in your life. You don't find wonderful and competent and genius philosopher in every component, in every piece, and every day and in every era of human history. These people, they come seldom, but they change. They come with their great ideals and they change the society. So बड़ी मुश्किल से होता है चमन में दीद पर पैदा. The people with vision, the people, वो इकबाल वाली बात के निगाह मेरी तेज चीर गई नीले वजूद. The people who have this piercing eye that can go deep into the sea and they can bring the pearls of wisdom to the humanity to bring them. So this way we have this type of a depthness, and this depthness is also it's a beauty. So these seasons, spring, autumn, summer, winter, they all are changing. This change is life, and again this nature is used to bring the change. This the concepts of a change, they are there, and they teach us that something good will come after bad, and even every bad is followed by good, and every good is followed by bad, and that brings hope in our life. Okay, look at that, every work. Okay, even अगर आप इवन अतार को भी पढ़ेंगे, तो उसकी भी जो मशहूर जो है अपना एलेगरी है, वो एक वर्ड्स का ग्रुप है जो जा रहा है, और वॉट एवर द क्राइस्ट, वो पूरी एलेग्रिकल वे में लिखा गया है. और रूमी के आप मसनवी पढ़े, हाफिज को पढ़े, तो ऑलमोस्ट सेम आपको नेचर उनके अंदर जो है ना हर जगह पर वो कॉन्सेप्ट जो है ना वो मिलेंगे. इकबाल को मैंने कोट किया, लतीफ़ को मैंने कोट किया, अयाज को देखे वञो कवेलियूं वञो वञी फिरी खेचो अञा पियो विड़ा अञा पियो जिया. नाउ लुक एट दैट, how these things are being conveyed with the help of these birds, and this is a really beautiful way. कभी किसी सिपाही ने जंग में लड़ते हुए शायद ही उस अपने मुल्क के परिंदों से मुखातिब होकर ये बात की हो कि जाओ जाकर मेरे घर वालों को, मेरे हमवतनों को, मेरे दोस्तों को जाकर ये पैगाम दो कि अभी still we are fighting for you. See what is the beauty, and really that is the greatness of this thing. And even look at आकाश के बुधा तू भला करें दे जरे असांजी अखियुनि जा थर बाबिया तुंहिंजे इंतज़ार में थकी टुटी रही सुम्ही पवंदा ॿुधाए तूं भला तॾहिं ईंदे. Now see the beautiful with Tharbabia, that's very concepts, and the way these are being used, they add a beauty. Nature adds beauty to human poetry and this life. Okay, and here you see that this is a tribute by Linda Neff, and this tribute is presented to spring. I find that spring is like an actress, bold who enters nature's stage on a perfect cue, and he is going to dedicate this to spring. And here's another tribute to winters by Daphne Dackins. The scratch of winter's icy claws against my forehead made me pause. That is another tribute to the season of winter. This tribute to autumn. Autumn is stretches, rubs his eyes, spits foggy plumes and frosty sighs. And there's a very beautiful ode to autumn that's written by John Keats, and it's very meaningful ode, because this man has this negative capability in autumn, and John Keats is very famous for the concepts of negative capability. I don't have a time here to explain this negative capability, because when you will come to senior classes, we will talk about this concept as well. So this is a kind of a dedication, and nature is used as a symbol. And look, the mother who is the last baby, and here the animals again, because of these symbolical representation, nature becomes helpful to convey our ideas and feelings like this, and that is also used to personify. Personified is that when we being personification एक figure of speech है जिसमें हम नेचर को ऐसे पेश करते हैं, ऑब्जेक्ट्स को ऐसे पेश करते हैं जैसे कि वो इंसान हो या जैसे वो इंसानों की तरह लिविंग हो. दिस इज कॉल्ड पर्सोनिफिकेशन. और जब हम उनके साथ ह्यूमन एहसासात को अटैच कर देते हैं, दैट इज कॉल्ड पैथेटिक फैलेसी. ये फिगर्स ऑफ स्पीच है. पर्सोनिफिकेशन में ये जिस तरह हम कहते हैं कि सितारों तुम तो सो जाओ, अब ये सितारों से मुखातिब होना, सितारों से ऐसे बात करना जैसे कि वो इंसान हो, ह्यूमन हो. मौत तू कब आएगी, उसे ऐसे बात करना कि उसका आना जाना जो इंसान की तरह हो. दैट इज आल्सो ए पार्ट ऑफ think what we think is very relevant and very much important. So this personification is also connected with this as a figure of speech, but it is a different than pathetic fallacy. Pathetic fallacy में क्या करता है शायर, उसके साथ human feelings, they attach human feelings and emotions to these inanimate objects. इन बेजान चीजों के साथ जब ये आप जो फीलिंग्स ऐसा साथ अटैच कर दिए जाते हैं, वी कॉल इट पैथेटिक फैलेसी. लाइक उसकी डेथ में इवन इवन clouds were weeping on his death, or you say that flowers can't control their tears and stop weeping. शाह लतीफ जो का वो जो मशहूर शेर है कि हसन मीर हुसैन के रुनो जिन चोलन घर मानू झंग मेरो उब में मलाइकन. Now you see, we said that when Hussein, Imam Hussein was martyred, then he was mourned by human. Now human is a natural, it's natural, but घर मानू जंग मेरून, okay. Even the pigs in wilds and in jungles, they were mourning over the death of this prince. So this is when we connect human feelings, emotions to these inanimate objects, then it becomes a pathetic fallacy. And a great many times poets have used nature as a personification to personify that their ideas are to present them as a living, or they associate this thing, okay. So this is a personification here. April rain song, let the rain kiss you. Now see here, rain is going to kiss, rain can't kiss, okay. Rain and an image, kissing is that, okay. See, this is the personification. Let the rain beat upon your head. Now even beating is a human action, rain cannot do. With the silver liquid drops, let the rain sing you, sing a lullaby. The rain makes still pools on the sidewalk. The rain makes running pools in the gutter. The rain plays a little sleep song on our roof at night, and I love the rain. So now see, this is where here the nature has been personified, and the rain is singing you, the rain is kissing you, the rain is beating you. That type of thing has been connected with this thing. So in this metaphorical sense, nature is also used as a metaphorical nature. Poem, the poet chooses some aspects are elements of nature as a metaphor to express how it feels to be mortal and what is the limitations of human life. So this is what is now here. See, this is a metaphorical or symbolical use of nature. What the poet Mary Locke Cornish characterizes one human's conditions as a ravaged by locust plague of fate and circumstances. अभी इन दिनों में हमारे पास बहुत सी दोनों चीज़ों का है. एक तरफ तो ये जो लोकस्ट का भी अटैक है सिंध पंजाब में मुख्तलिफ एरियाज में, और दूसरी तरफ कोविड जो है जो कि एक वबा की शक्ल में प्लेग की शक्ल अख्तियार कर चुकी है. अब इन दोनों चीज़ों के लोकस्ट ऑफ मिसफॉर्चून, नाउ वी सी कि ये जो लोकस्ट है, ये जो जो बदनसीबी के जो है have swarmed across these fields. Now see, they have the field destined for humanity. Locusts destined for the disease in the form of disease and misfortune. They have swarmed and swept and swarmed and swallowed up. They have swarmed, they have swept, and they have swallowed up. Ravaged and raid and recklessly kept my heart's desire from glorious fruition. We are human being is being deprived from this fruition. When these locusts come, they devastate. They destroy every greenery, every plant, every bush, and they just destroy. They bring death to greenery, they bring death to plants, they bring death to crops, and their fruit is means the trees and fruits, trees and crops, they are deprived of their fruits. So when this type of a misfortune in the form of any kind of natural disaster and disease, it may be storm, earthquake, or it may be that disease or plague or any kind of a tornado, any kind of a cyclone, or any kind of this mountainous eruption, volcanic eruption. They could be the cause of this type of crisis. And here you feel that they become as a kind of a symbol, and they bear a symbol and metaphorical relationship which help us to understand. Okay, so this also gives us the place and attachment where we are, and a different type of a political compositions taken from the nature, they just give a sense of attachment. So for example, you are in a third, then again you have this beautiful components taken from that particular area. They also develop a sense of attachment. And you are in Kashmir, and the natural part of Kashmir again will just give associate a kind of attachment to this particular area. So pirin Kashmir di wadin jiyan abad hui jindri ayo lalan edo lodo वफान जो खादो दोदो व्यासी कोट थी बाला अमा खान साहब कुछ साला. Now in that sense, okay, Kashmir ji wadi ji abad hui jindagi, here we say that life was happy, it was happy, it was a peaceful, like the valley of Kashmir. That is again, it brings a concept of beauty, a concept of ideal beauty that is being taken in the shape of valley of Kashmir. And sometimes you also take a particular concept from desert, Sahara, नखलिस्तान. ये सब चीज़ें फिर आपको एक इमेज तस्वर देते हैं जिसके साथ हम पोइट्री को जो है वो कंपोज करते हैं. So in this way we have a very great attachment to this poetical composition and the nature. नेचर जो है तकरीबन आप जो पूरी दुनिया के अदब को जब पढ़ेंगे, उसकी शायरी को पढ़ेंगे, तो नेचर जो है ना उनके लिए एक प्राइमरी सोर्स का काम करती है, और उनके लिए एक प्राइमरी मटेरियल का काम करती है. जो नेचर एक राइटर्स को वो आइडियाज प्रोड्यूस करती है. सो नेचर गिव्स अस मटेरियल, it gives us sign, it gives us symbol, it gives us metaphor, it gives us similes, it gives us concepts, it inspires us, it guides us, it challenges us, it changes us, it invites us to change. Its seasons are source of a change and evolutions. And in addition to these all, this is a kind of a storehouse where from every poet goes to bring his concepts and ideas. And you look at complete, there's a Sur of Shalatif, Sur Samar, Sarang, that is all about the rain, and when the rain comes and what brings in life, that is completely connected with this natural phenomena. And look at that when Sur Sasui, a woman who is in a search of her beloved, and she has to go through the high mountains, and the way she communicates to mountains, Ado Takar Tar Mata Roh Ratyu Thi, O mountain, don't impede my way, otherwise you would crumble. मेरा रास्ता मत रोक, नहीं तो फिर टुकड़े टुकड़े हो जाएगा. You would crumble into pieces. See how the ideas means the strength of a woman is being shown here with the help of this mountain and the challenges. So nature has a really vastness of themes and ideas and language sources, and these always nature supports us in our political composition. Hope this class would help you to understand the concept of a nature and how the nature is being used in poetry. So thank you very much. And the supported material is also uploaded on the website. You may also get help of that thing. And then in interactive sessions, whatever the questions you have about this session, we will discuss in that interactive